Matthew 19, verse to 12. When Jesus had finished these sayings, he departed from Galilee and came into the region of Judea beyond the Jordan. Great multitudes followed him, and he healed them there. As he moved through the land, the tension between the kingdom he proclaimed and the religious order of his day continued to grow. Pharisees came to him, testing him. They asked, "Is it lawful for a man to divorce his wife for just any reason?" This question was not asked out of sincere curiosity, but was rooted in the debates among the teachers of the law. Some held that a man could divorce his wife for almost any cause, while others allowed it only for serious moral failure. By presenting this question, they attempted to draw Jesus into their dispute and perhaps provoke a response that could be used against him. Jesus answered them by turning their attention to the beginning. "Have you not read that he who made them at the beginning made them male and female, and said, 'For this reason a man shall leave his father and mother and be joined to his wife, and the two shall become one flesh?' So then, they are no longer two, but one flesh. Therefore, what God has joined together, let not man separate." By appealing to the creation account, Jesus pointed beyond the later legal discussions to the original design of God. Marriage was not merely a civil arrangement governed by the shifting interpretations of legal experts. It was a union established by God Himself, a joining that formed one flesh from two individuals. The unity of this bond reflected the Creator's intention before the law of Moses was ever given. The Pharisees then responded with another question. Why then did Moses command to give a certificate of divorce and to put her away? Jesus corrected their assumption. Moses did not command divorce, he permitted it. The provision found in the law was not an expression of God's ideal, but a concession to the hardness of human hearts. Because of the stubbornness and rebellion within the covenant people, regulations were given to govern situations that arose among them. Yet this allowance did not represent the original design. Jesus said, "Moses, because of the hardness of your hearts, permitted you to divorce your wives, but from the beginning it was not so." Here the contrast becomes clear. The concession under the law and the intention present from the beginning. The law addressed the realities of a hardened nation living under its administration, while the kingdom Jesus announced revealed the deeper purpose of God that preceded it. Then Jesus declared, "And I say to you, whoever divorces his wife except for sexual immorality and marries another commits adultery, and whoever marries her who is divorced commits adultery." With these words, Jesus exposed the seriousness of the covenant union. The casual use of divorce that had developed among the religious leaders was shown to be a distortion of God's design. The Pharisees had treated marriage as something that could be easily dissolved through legal maneuvering, but Jesus revealed that such actions violated the unity God had established. When the disciples heard this teaching, they responded with surprise. They said, "If such is the case of the man with his wife, it is better not to marry." Their reaction shows how radical Jesus' words sounded in the context of the debates of that time. The ease with which divorce had been discussed among the teachers made his statement appear exceedingly strict. If marriage truly carried such weight, they reasoned, perhaps it would be better to avoid it entirely. Jesus answered them with a broader perspective. All cannot accept this saying, but only those to whom it has been given. For there are eunuchs who were born thus from their mother's womb, and there are eunuchs who were made eunuchs by men, and there are eunuchs who have made themselves eunuchs for the sake of the kingdom of heaven. He who is able to accept it, let him accept it. In this statement, Jesus acknowledged that different callings exist among people. Some are unable to marry because of physical conditions present from birth. Others are made eunuchs through the actions of men, a reality known within the ancient world. Still others choose a life without marriage for the sake of the kingdom of heaven, devoting themselves fully to the work associated with the reign of God that Jesus was announcing. This teaching unfolds within the larger context of the transition taking place during the ministry of Christ. The Old Covenant order, with its concessions and regulations given to a hardened nation, stood in contrast to the restoration and fulfillment that the kingdom proclaimed. By returning to the beginning and revealing the deeper intention of God, Jesus exposed the limitations of legal debates and pointed to the reality that the kingdom would bring to light. Thus, in Matthew 19, 1-12, the discussion about divorce becomes more than a legal dispute. It becomes a revelation of God's original purpose, the inadequacy of hardened hearts under the law, and the greater clarity brought by the presence of the Messiah and the kingdom he announced.